The Flavour Matrix by James Briscoe brings together foods that have a shared molecular structure, resulting in dishes that are not based on the limitations of taste memory, but on inherent flavour profiling. The combinations are limitless. In this video, you will hear GMIT Culinary Arts students sharing their recipe ideas with their lecturers when they were tasked with using the mollusk flavour matrix to create innovative cephalopod recipes.
Based on the instructions, we should have a speaker now for each group, I would say. Will we start with group 1 and see who wants to go for group 1?
Yeah, I don't mind doing it.
Isaac, okay, perfect.
Yeah, so just talk through the steps and processes for the dish, or?
Yeah, just to talk through it, and how did you come up with the matches, kind of a little bit, yeah.
Well, Jamie came up with the basic idea of the squid stuff with the wild rice, and then had a lot of choices from the very high percentage pairing from the vegetal side, from the more earthy side of the vegetal side, and then pomegranate is something I've always had with cephalopods. It always keeps cropping up. So just to give it a little bit more, it is the lowest rated we have, but the pomegranate and the bourbon sauce, just a reduction of the pomegranate and the sweet bourbon as well. And then the squid would be grilled and then stuffed with the wild rice and a few of the vegetables that you'd save again for pairing, and really thinly sliced tomato for garnish as well on top of it all, and everything done to a 1 centimeter dice.
Okay, now group 2. Have you somebody from group 2 there?
Yeah, I can speak on this. So
Thanks, Clara. Yeah.
Well, we went with the octopus. So we decided to do some octopus tentacles, which we sous vide with some aromats, and then we cut those to order, as in like about 10 centimeter lengths, about 2 of those, and finished them on a grill, like a charcoal grill, to help bring in some smoky flavour. Then we had that on a bed of wild rice and mushroom risotto, and we garnished that with some black truffle and passion fruit and red wine reduction. So we focused mainly on like the vegetal and fruit parts of the wheel with some of the dairy.
The passion fruit and the red wine reduction be an interesting thing to actually try out. In my head, it wouldn't work, but I say you would have to try it out too, kind of, you know?
Yeah, but why not?
Very interesting combinations, guys.
Were you influenced by the wheel when you considered the passion fruit, Clara?
I think we were thinking more along the lines of citrus, so we just came up with a couple of citrus ideas, and originally it was like orange, but then we mostly associate that with duck, and then lemon was used a lot, so we kind of got stuck between passion fruit and grapefruit and ultimately decided on passion fruit.
And then on to group 3.
So yeah, we went with cuttlefish as the mollusk, and the idea was, I don't know if you've seen, it's kind of become a bit of a trend at the moment of these super thinly sliced, usually like sashimi grade fish, and they serve it almost like as like the noodles for dishes. And so we kind of thought we'll play with that. And so from the mantle of the cuttlefish to cut the noodles and then curl them into a little nest, and then quickly poach it in rice vinegar, which is sort of one of the ways cuttlefish is cooked in Japan. So I figured it might work with the texture. And then the main flavor pairing for it was going to be the capsicum, which is from the fruit-like vegetal, and that would come from a chili oil that would go along the noodles. And in that category, it pairs well with nuttiness, so that would come from toasted sesame seeds on the dressing, and then it would be served on top of like a round of brioche that was fried crispy, because the fruit-like also pairs well with toasted, which has baked bread in it. And then in the center of the nest, there'd be like a half sphere of beetroot gel. And then kind of hiding that on top of it would be a little quenelle of caviar, because it's also in the marine family, which matches to what some mollusks, which are also in the marine family. So I figure the flavorings would probably pair well with all the other flavors there.
Very good. What do you think, Anne?
Really nice, yeah. Because Isaac, you were doing something similar with your fine julienne of squid. Wasn't it?
Yeah, I have it on my menu. I thought about doing it with cuttlefish, but the only parts of cuttlefish I've ever eaten are quite crunchy. It has a very peculiar texture. So I didn't use it in the end. I went with squid.
Yeah, and I had kind of looked at that, and I had seen that like in Japan, when they poach it in the rice vinegar, it kind of helps to keep it tender rather than causing the protein to really seize up that much while still cooking.
But even raw, it's still whatever part of it I was being fed by my boss. It still has this really not chewy, quite cartilagey almost texture to it.
I suppose in a lot of traditional dishes for the likes of cuttlefish, it's cooked slowly, in that we had a chef from Galicia in Spain do a cookery dem last year with the second year students and all the culinary arts students. But when she worked with the cuttlefish, she stewed it, and with tomato and onion and peppers, but she cooked it slowly. Now, the one problem we had with cuttlefish was trying to source it in Ireland. It's actually very difficult to get cuttlefish. Much easier, and I suppose the majority of recipes that we have in the cookery book are based on octopus or squid, because they seem to be easier to source in Ireland.
Gannet do them as a bycatch. I think you have it's a get down to them at 5 o'clock in the morning as they're coming off the boats. But I've definitely gotten them off Stefan before.
Really?
Yeah, I know from contacting the suppliers that any cuttlefish that has been caught, and they're caught more of a bycatch than actual catch. Any cuttlefish that have been bought, they have already been ordered by the ethnic restaurants, and also by the Italian restaurants have the cuttlefish actually ordered, because they cook them and eat them for themselves. And then, of course, if there's any substantial catch there for the Mediterranean market straight away, the fishermen would have traditionally called them black gold. Black because of their ink and gold because of their worth. So they were classed as being worth money. When I interviewed fishermen about the project in previous times. So the other thing is about the size of the cuttlefish, how fresh it is, and the different species of the cuttlefish, because there's a load of different species, and all of the different species have different qualities and characteristics as well. So you're probably all right in what you're saying about the textures and the flavours of them.
I'm delighted with the response and the lovely recipes that we have on the screen. Sincerely, thank you for your time. And I think it was a very worthwhile exercise.